member of CSEA, and a lifelong resident of New York State. When I was 3, my father, the sole financial provider for our family, died, leaving behind my mother and a sister and 2 brothers to be cared for. Our family thrived because of the support and opportunities afforded us by New York State, ranging from food stamps and health insurance to becoming a proud graduate of our SUNY system. My success story is not unique because of our state's commitment to all, but the story is in jeopardy because of our governor's continued commitment to a few. As the local president of CSEA in Fulton County, I have a working relationship with the local elected officials and our county administrator, John Stead. Recently, when discussing the budget with Mr. Stead, he pointed out that if the governor wanted to help, he would increase the aim that has remained stagnant and for the last year and have taken several hits in the last couple of years. Our county made some drastic cuts to services, which Senator Farley can certainly testify to, which even Mr. Stead agrees were not popular. These cuts include the outsourcing of our nursing home, mental health, and addiction services. If this budget passes as is, how will Fulton County continue to survive? Sound bites like tax freeze are wonderful, but they do not make effective policy. As a community member, I hear the governor explain how he would like to help local governments and school districts. Yet the soundbite policies placed in this budget actually hurt our local community. I've worked for the last 20 years for Fulton County, first as a child protective worker, and the last 8 years as a probation officer. In my office, there has been a 30% reduction in the number of officers. Higher caseloads with less services in the community. It is a formula for disaster. I was assigned a probationer as a result of a felony DWI. In working with this gentleman, it became apparent that not only did he have substance issues, but he also had mental health issues. His mental health issues were so prevalent that he was receiving disability. I directed him to obtain an evaluation from our recently outsourced addiction clinic. However, I was told that the clinic would not service him as he was too aggressive. Although he was attending therapy at the mental health clinic, he was not going often. After all, he is mentally ill. He was not on medication, nor was he receiving any services. Fast forward an entire year, and this probationer has just started to receive other services, but is still not on medication. During that last year, the probationer went into a grocery store, walked in, stole a 30-pack of beer, and walked out. Arriving back at his friend's house, some issues surfaced, which caused him to become erratic. He ended up walking to the police station and turning himself in for stealing that beer. He was arrested and a violation of probation is pending. The easy answer for me and other officers in my predicament would be to send him to jail for the crime. But as any county sheriff will tell you, our jails are filled with mentally ill. Wouldn't services for his mental health be more appropriate and humane response to the problem? If this budget passes without significant changes, it is very possible that this person, along with many others, will end up in jail because services are disappearing. This budget would increase the risk to our community while costing the taxpayers more. Helping people make better choices takes services in our community. Helping people raise themselves out of poverty takes services in our community. Helping young people in our community become better citizens takes services in our community. Unfortunately, in Fulton County, this is becoming more and more difficult to offer because of the stranglehold the governor is placing around our necks with the state budgets he offers. I ask that you stand up for what is fair. A tax freeze sounds good in an election year, but the strings attached are such that the local governments would be forced to cut what is left of services in our community. In Fulton County, we've had school districts that merge, and we've had school districts that have voted not to merge. Isn't that the way it should be done, based on the community members, not by the governor bullying us into something by cutting off funding streams? I understand you'll hear from many different constituency groups, and I think if you listen closely, you will hear similar concerns. My experience in Fulton County is not unlike what my brothers and sisters experience in other counties. What each one of you says is important, but what each one of you does to make this budget better is more important. Our communities need you. We ask that you stand up to make the necessary changes so local governments and services don't disappear. Thank you for your time.